All right, episode 2, Journey to Mustang Magic, and it is early in the morning. Sun's about to come up. Beautiful day. We got 1 hour in with her yesterday, so we'll see how much time we can get in today before we go watch the finals of the Fort Worth Mustang Show. I got my sandwich, just headed out, hoping to get about 2.5 to 3 hours of work in right here, and we'll let you guys know how it goes.
This is actually from the first day, the first time I roped her, so this is not long after she got off the trailer. I show a little slow-mo here just so you see when I pull my slack right here, I immediately let go, boom, right there I let go, and that's just so, I'm not pulling on her right when that rope comes tight. Now this is back to day 2 right here. I just got her caught and I was just showing how well she's listening to this rope. When I step over here, I ask her to move and she steps around. She's just at a walk. I really like this when I pick up. She's immediately just giving that hind end. So she's really come around quick understanding that rope there.
This mare keeps telling me she wants the Spanish walk. No. She's getting ready to run me out of the pen. If your horse is doing this, you should probably send them around with some energy. But what we're seeing though is her confidence change. She was super scared of me. Now I've petted her quite a bit. I got the halter on. Now she's like, I'm going to control you. Or I think she's just trying to see who's in charge. And truth be told, the flies in Texas are biting real bad. That's what's making her the most mad. When she stands still, they're biting on her and she gets kind of mad. But it's a good spot to see and just let you guys know. This is a good time to send them around for 5 minutes and say, hey, you might want to respect me a little more than that. We're at 2 hours and I haven't headed past her neck. And so what I'm working on, I've got my flag now. Now what I'm working on is like when I get up in here and she gets bothered with my flag, I want that hind end to step around like that. I don't want her to turn tail and go the other way, because that's how, if I got up in there, I'd get kicked. So when I get in here, I just want to make sure I've got a pretty good hind end. I've not led this mare forward yet. I'm just working on this hind end right here. So you can see how she's getting pretty light on the rope here, and it doesn't look like that the whole time. I'm just showing you. I wouldn't try to walk up and pet her in the withers with my hand until when I come in here and she gets a little worried, she does that. Because when they stick around is when you get kicked. If they get worried and leave, you're okay.
Right here, we just started our first tying lesson. She got pretty good at leading forward. I don't think I captured any of that footage, so I didn't have any on there, but she was leading forward. She was giving her hind end really good. So now what I'm working on is when I walk left and right and send her across, she needs to take her nose towards that post she's tied to and give her hind end. So it's very similar to the groundwork, but now we're making sure she understands what she's supposed to listen to is actually the lead rope, not just follow the handler. You can get in a little trouble if they think the answer is to follow the handler, and then the first time you tie them up, that gets really confusing when you walk off. So this is her first tying lesson. We're about 3 hours in or so. And so, yeah, she's getting this sorted out pretty quick.
Terrible lighting, but we're 4 hours in and we're getting our first, overdid it there. Getting our first hose down. Down the legs. Good. Whoops, there we go. Good.
Now we've jumped to the next day. So this is early in the morning again, and I unhaltered her the day before. So here I'm just showing how when I walk around, she's already starting to hook on early on. Now she doesn't end up letting me halter her until I get the rope on her, so I do end up having to rope her, but just showing a little bit. So right there when she got distracted, I peeled in behind her, pushed her, then drew her in again. Now I'm going to go the other way, step around to her hind end. I'd like her hind end to push away and her nose to draw to me. So she's a little bit distracted, and what I figure out is she's kind of wanting to roll, and I do, as when I shut this off, I give her a chance to roll, and she never does roll, but she kind of wants to, and I like that. I like how she's starting to get real comfortable with me, and she's just kind of starting to understand that drawing in and following. So you see her kind of turn in there, and I like that she's distracted because it actually shows that she's even more comfortable with me, and she's comfortable enough to look around and also walk around real soft and easy. Okay, I'm gonna do a little review of this episode 2 real quick. So one of the deals I'm doing is I'm trying to share the hours with you, the timestamps of when each thing happens. That ending you just saw is my last session I did, ended in a downpour. I had about 2 or 3 hours that I was gonna be able to put in yesterday. It's Monday now, so yesterday was Sunday. And 30 minutes in, it was like downpour and flooded the round pen. So I pumped it out yesterday. Just downpoured again this morning. We are flooded really bad. So anyways, I just want to review this real quick. Before I give you the numbers though, I want to tell you the point of the numbers is not so that you try to make your horse get that done in that time. The point of the numbers is mostly for me to see that I really haven't put that much time in. I've been struggling lately with Mustangs because I feel like they take so much time. And what I realize is I'll go out there and put in 45 minutes and think I put in 3 hours, and I'm frustrated they're not further along. So when I started timing this, just like keeping a general idea, it actually made it easier for me. Now it might not do that for you, so this might not be a good idea for you, but for me, I slowed down and I was like, wow, we're only an hour in. Wow, we're only 2 hours in and I've already done this. So when I'm checking the times, I'm taking all the time I need, and then when I accomplish something, I say, how much time has it been? So it's not so much, am I almost to 2 hours? I better get this done. I better get them tied up because we're almost to 4 hours. It's like, no, I'm doing things and then I'm checking the time. So don't, if this is gonna stress you out and make you rush, don't do it. But I look at it like, I don't expect to ride my horse until between hours 20 and 30. And so that I could do that many hours in 3 days if I put in a full day's work. And now I'm having another setback because of the rain. It's supposed to rain all week, so we'll see how that goes. But that's what I want to make sure you guys understand. It's not to rush you. It actually slowed me down. That's why I did it. So some people are like, oh, it's bad to keep track of time. Depends how you use it. It's really settled me down and like I used to spend several hours a day just hanging out with the Mustangs. And it seems like the more I've done, the more I've wanted to get too much done in less time. And then I realize, look, you got to put in a lot of hours with these guys till they get comfortable with you. And a lot of those hours you might need to be doing very little, like brushing their mane and just holding them while you watch other people do things, or watching people ride, or talking. So anyways, let's do a little review. First day, I got an hour in and then it got dark because we drove home. It was super hot, so I waited. Then I went back out. I only had an hour before dark, so I roped her. First, center left and right, got her turning in to me. That was about 10 minutes. Then I roped her. Then, because I like to get them turning in before I rope them, so they kind of are comfortable enough to turn into me first, so that when I pull on the rope, they've already done it. And it normally doesn't take very long to do if you set it up in a way that they already want to turn to. Like I would step in front of her when she wanted to go back that way towards the horses, so it kind of drew her nose, and I got that a few times, and then I roped her. So roped her, and that first day in that hour, I got her disengaging the hind end fairly good. Now she wasn't perfect, but like when I got to where like I could send her around for a lap, pick up the rope, and she would face me because she figured out that's my break time. Perfect. I also got the first touch. Now I could not get the rope off with my hand, and it was getting dark, so I had to go get my hook and hook the rope, and because I couldn't get my hand past her eye to grab that rope off her neck. So day 2, I go in there, and I actually put in probably an hour and 10 minutes the first day. So the second day, when I roped her, it only took 15 minutes to get the halter on, because immediately she was already better to touch. After 3 or 4 minutes, she was better. She remembered the day before, she was better to touch. She did get bold pretty quick, which you guys got to see when she was kind of being a bully to me, wanting to push me away and say, I'm going to tell you what to do. So haltered was 1 hour and 25 minutes. Now I did a tip horse last week and it was almost the exact same time, 1 hour and 25 minutes to haltering. And so I normally tell people, it normally takes me 1 hour to 2 hours to halter one. When I rope them, I'm committed. I hang out, I do my work until the halter's on most of the time. And so I'm not gonna rope one unless I feel like I have a good amount of time. Even though the first day I knew it was gonna get dark, but I wanted to get some time in and see how she was. And at my skill level, I was confident I'd be able to get that rope off. And I also have a chute, so if I couldn't get the rope off, I could have pushed her up in the chute and took the rope off. So don't get yourself in a jam right there. If you can't get the rope off or it's almost dark, don't rope your horse, because you don't really want them wearing a rope all night. So at the 2 hour mark, the hind end was getting good. I was petting her with the flag. From 2 hours and 15 minutes to about 2:45, somewhere in there, I didn't do anything. I was talking to the people outside the round pen, chit-chat. She was just standing behind me. I'd already done some leading, so that was around, leading forward was happening around that 2:10 mark. I got it good. I got to where I could reach out there and tap her in the butt with the whip and she'd come forward. For me, I like that. I want to be able to reach out there and create energy on their hind end and have them come forward. That's how I tread a load. That's how I do a lot of things. So it's not just walking away and pulling. It's like when I add some energy with my whip, I want you to step towards me. So I'd done that, and then we hung out. We did a little bit, hung out, but there was a lot of downtime right there. And then at the 3 hour mark is when I wanted to brush her mane. Well, the flies were so bad, I had to teach her to fly spray, and that took very little time. She was really easy about the fly spray, so I got that done. Then I brushed her mane. Her first tying was at 3 hours 20 minutes, and then spraying off was at 4 hours. So that's kind of what we're up to, because the next day I only got in a half hour. I didn't really do anything new. I was just petting on her, throwing the rope over her back, throwing the rope around her legs, and she was pretty good. I think I've petted down, I think I've maybe petted her whole body with the flag, but I honestly can't remember. So I would say we're at the 4 hour mark. We're leading, tying, a little bit of fly spray. I wouldn't say that's great, but it's pretty decent. Spraying off with the hose tied up. That's where we're at the 4 hour mark. So, that keeps you guys in the loop where we're at, and we'll see where it goes from here. I hope it dries out quick. I'm about to probably have to go pump all the water out of my round pen again, and then it's supposed to rain tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So that's why it's tough to train Mustangs through the winter, and I don't have a covered pen. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy that. It's episode 2. We'll try to get another episode out to you guys in the next week or so and keep you in the loop with everything, and we'll see you next time.